What's good, YouTube? And welcome to Rumors Being Dispelled. We are getting the 2022 Megatins this year, titled the 25th Anniversary Tin Dueling Heroes. And there's so much to break down. If you want to get yours, Gamer's Choice has them up. Code What's Good 5 for 5% off. And support the channel directly will work over there. And why they're a little pricier than years past, the MSRP has been upped on tins to $22 total. So do keep that in mind when we're talking price points later. But I'm going to go through and say if I think it's worth it at this juncture. There's going to be a ton of speculation, so you might want to hold off, or you might want to go in depending, because promos, that is awesome to see from Konami, and their 25th quarter century secret rares, which are basically Starlight rares with that stamp in the text box, and there's 16 different ones, and just a couple of bangers could give some real long-term value to these tins, but we're hoping on Konami putting bangers in, and it looks like they have a good idea of where they're headed with that. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Org does say that this cover photo has nothing to do, they're just past tens because it's a placeholder. Celebrate our 25th anniversary together with our 25th anniversary tin Dueling Heroes, featuring double the prismatic secret rares and a bonus quarter century secret rare in every tin. So we're going to see every single mega pack have 2 prismatic secret rares, but every 10 have 1 quarter century rare, which is essentially a promo, yet it's the most upgraded card within the 10. So the guarantee is that you are going to be getting a 25th secret rare, which is basically, again, a Starlight rare. Prismatic secret rares are one of the things duelists love the most about each year's mega packs, since the 10s are the only place to find this exclusive and beautiful rarity type. Whatever you do, don't Google World Superstar. Konami does not want you right now to go look at World Superstar. Ignore it. No other prismatic secret rares exist. Anyways, for a long time it has been the Megatins now. This year, we're giving you twice as many in each tin. Each 25th anniversary tin Dueling Heroes includes 3 18-card mega packs with 2 prismatic secret rares, 2 ultras, a super rare, a rare, and 12 commons. What's really interesting about that is the super rares could, depending on the set list, end up being the hardest cards to get, which could be the, old desirable cards. But at the same time, Konami last year went, we're going to make this secret a different kind of secret for a ton of the cards, which was kind of greedy as a move, but at the same time, I understand why they wanted to go with those upgrades in the 10s, and they do look very good. This year, how they divide the set will be very, very interesting, because this massive mega pack set contains almost 300 cards from recent sets, including Battles of Chaos, Dimension Force, Darkwing Blast, Tactical Masters, and the Grand Creators, and more. Power of the Elements is missing from there, which they've never skipped over a set like that in the past. Savage Strike missed the 10s, but it was on the very end and got included in the next 10s. Right now, Power of the Elements completely missing, and that has some impactful cards like Sprite Blue. Now, a lot of people are speculating maybe that's going to be pushed into Mavens 2, maybe it's going to be in Battles of Legend before the WCQ, maybe they've already sold it in the unlimited Power of the Elements boxes and they're not going to include it, or they could be waiting to announce that it's in here so that the unlimited sells more. There's a lot of maybes, if, ands, and buts about Powers of the Element, with it not being bolded here. In addition, each 10 will include a quarter century secret rare version of one of 16 monsters decorating the sides of the 10. So when we get the glam, we know more of these, right? Some of the most famous and iconic monsters used by the series Dueling Heroes. So heroes may leave out protagonists, like maybe Blue Eyes, etc. And next year's 10s could include those. So it could be like 2 of each protagonist major monsters and 3 of a couple of them. Or it could be both the protagonists that are seen as heroes, as well as, the rivals to them that go along the way and become better people. We'll have to, again, wait and see what they do mean by Dueling Heroes, if it's like the main characters. So the MSRP again is $22, and with code What's Good 5 for 5% off and support the channel directly, if you're buying entire cases, that knocks it down to about $15 per case shipped to your front door in the US. Just a little bit more than that. If you're going 10 by 10, it's a lot more expensive. The sets inside are Darkwing Blast, so there's a lot of really great cards in here. This will be the highest impact meta cards between the Bestials. You also get Branded Love, you get Labyrinth Love, so many different decks, and of course Cash Ashtira. You then have Grand Creators, which has Punk, as well as Adventure Token Package stuff. Now, the Adventure Token Package stuff has been named in Battles of Legend, but so far only for Starlight upgrades, so it might not be in the core set, just like how certain Starlights weren't in the core set for the last Battles of Legend. We'll have to wait and see. So if it's double down the reprints, the Adventure Token Package will lose some steam in here, but both of these are definitely highly desired at this point, and a lot of people are looking to mix Adventure Token Package stuff with it not being hit in the TCG with future synchro decks and stuff like that. Battle of Chaos is very middle of the road for me. Yes, you get DM era stuff, which is really actually nice for long-term value in the 10s like these. That's what we're looking at if you're getting the 10s to hold them and keep sealed versus rip open, right? That's what I usually would approach my thought process towards going for full sealed cases, keeping some for a good long-term time. Other people are going to want to rip them open, right? In that case, I would usually just go for the singles. But for me, I think about keeping them and keeping them sealed. And with that, these kind of cards add good value long-term should they be in there. And the big question mark is Dark Magician. That would be the most disrespectful reprint in Yu-Gi-Oh history, giving it an upgrade to Prismatic Secret Rare if they did that, but it would also match the others from last year's 10s. Now, this was 1 out of 1.5 cases. Like, you had to open like 18 boxes to see one on average, but if they gave it a freebie upgrade, pretty easy to get in the 10s, mix and match with your Dark Magician Girl Red Eyes and Blue Eyes from last year, I would totally understand Konami doing that. So we'll have to wait and see, and that would also be decent value in the 10s, especially if they like half printed or something. You have Tactical Masters with 2 pretty darn good archetypes, and then Valiants. Sorry, all 5 Valiant players. But you do have the good old Labyrinths, and you have Runics, and Runic is seeing a ton of play right now, so this is very welcome. In fact, they're spiking in price right now, and giving them nice Secret Rare versions will have a lot of people hunting them down, and having a budget version for that would be super nice. Dimension Force not worth too much mentioning. You have the Therions, and then you have Visa Starfrost as well, and his lore is still going, so that's at least nice to see a confirmation reprint there. And then going through past 10s, we have the Gold Sark 10, the last one with a guarantee like this 10 has, and in my opinion, it had a lot more to offer. You had 3 World Premiere cards, 1 of 3, which was Nibiru, Dimension Shifter, Dark Ruler, and more, all high-impact meta cards. Then you had 2 of 5 cards from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Animated series, so some member berries, and then Kazuki Takahashi art cards as well that premiered here, I believe, in the 10s also, or were imported. Really just an amazing 10. The quarter century rare doesn't really come close to that alone, but iconic cards and an upgrade instead also is still something to really look forward to. The 2020 10s, they have Dragoon, which honestly, this 10 should have fallen in price over time with the downfall of Dragoon versus it being 120 and there not being a ton of value throughout here. Yet, you know, once the sealed product disappears, it often stays up in price, and it's still way overpriced for what it is. But the history of leading up to that makes it understandable. The 2021 10s were a pretty big bust, but they're actually on the recovery right now. Zeus is a chase card. Talents was worth a lot more till its reprints. And then you do have other cards slowly creeping up in here, which is why you see a recovery on these 10s to a good degree right now. And they're looking a lot nicer than they used to, but still, if you had pre-ordered, you're basically break even and waiting 2 whole years, or you're also just sitting on them all that time where your money could have been into other things, right? So this would have been a bad order where the other 2 were good. And this one, you would be doing a little bit well for yourself at this point, basically on the back of Pot of Prosperity and the other solid cards in the 10s. There's already been double down reprints of a lot of these cards. Ash Blossom reprinted twice after, but this is a very nice version. And that's what the 10s do. The Prismatic Secret Rares, very, very nice versions of cards. And with the quarter century rares hinting at being very big icons, I personally do think the pre-orders for this will likely be worth it. And that up to MSRP does make, again, the prices a bit more for this year. When I think through everything that they're pushing for this, I think they want a really strong face for the 10s after a rocky road on the whole Gold Sark Megatin transitioning into the 10 of Lost Memories, 10 of Ancient Battles, you know, the whole tablet 10s. I feel like those weren't the best perceived, and they really do want to turn things around. So I look forward to how they plan to do that. I expect more curveballs than just the quarter century rare, because each year's Megatins does break the rules of years previous, and I expect more than just that one extra secret rare and super nice promo that's back finally. I love that they're actually doing something that's a guarantee here, though, so I gotta give them props where props is due. Thanks for watching. Are you gonna be pre-ordering these, or are you gonna wait for more reveals? How do you feel about it? Because early pre-orders for tins tend to go really fast, and then people ask, oh, where'd all the pre-orders go? And usually they're way up in price by then. Like, I remember certain tins going $220, $230 on pre-orders, then coming back down, or even spiking initially, and then we hit the wave. So there's been a lot of different things that have happened with Megatins, but I have a pretty good feeling about this. But again, do take into consideration there's a lot of ifs and maybes or buts, so decide what's best for you and your dollar. But I do like it to keep sealed, not to rip open so far. Thanks for watching, everybody.